Folks, this is Jim. Today's topic is mace. Okay, I have two different ones here today with two different purposes. So let's talk about mace. First, let me add a disclaimer. This is not advice for you to buy mace. Please check your laws, your state laws, your local laws, and the all the laws that pertain to the use of mace in your area and in your part of the country. Please do all of that. Using something like this could cause somebody to stumble into traffic and be hit by a car. So to keep all of this in mind, consider it just like you would with a gun before you deploy it. All of these things are my disclaimers. And again, please look up all the laws associated with your state, municipality, and all of that before choosing to buy or use mace. But for me, I am carrying mace because it's a non-lethal deterrent and it's very effective. As you've seen, go out and look on the all of this rioting that's been going on and how effectively the military and the police forces have been deploying mace. Look at what happens to a very angry, violent person when they are encountered with some mace. And what happens to them? Okay, go out and look all this up for yourself. And but what do I like about it? It's small. It's contained in my hand. If you're a woman and you have a small hand, obviously it's probably going to be sticking out a little bit like that. But if you're a man with an average hand, you can pretty much cover this, and it's that quick to activate. Okay, I'm now ready to fire this particular one. Okay, and the nozzle is way up at the top. So as soon as you hit that safety switch, boom, like that, ready to deploy. All right, and this one will take out about 3 assailants. Okay, so where would I use this? Say if I get somebody who wants to come at me with a knife, something like that, boom, I want to deploy the mace first. If I'm walking through a dark area or a dangerous area, I probably want this in my hand right away. Okay, if I was walking around some places in LA and other places in the country, I would definitely have this in my hand at all times, pretty much. Now, you obviously look up the laws of those areas and make sure it's okay. I'm talking about for my area. And we always talk about SHTF WROL. This is a non-lethal deterrent, which will, if used effectively, disable that person coming for us for 10 to 15 minutes and allow a getaway. So keep that in mind. This happens to be one. This particular one is Police Magnum. And then the one that I personally like is Sabri. And it's used by police and stuff like that. You can see this is much bigger, right? So this one will shoot about 18 feet, and it is designed for, I think, 15 separate bursts. So you can do 15 separate bursts or a continual spray. All right, so this is very good if you're in a really bad situation. It also has a safety cap on top. You flip up and boom. Okay, so that's another reason. This also has a belt clip. Okay, so if we're talking bug out or whatever, absolutely, I will have one of these on my person for bug out. Absolutely, for me. Now, again, I've given you the disclaimer about looking all this stuff up for yourself and knowing the laws around using this. Okay, that is your responsibility. Those are my disclaimers. Okay, so but this is what I will carry for bug out, because I can take out multiple assailants with one device. So, and they are a little bit expensive, but it's a lot less than a firearm, right? At about, I think this one's about $18, 15 to 18. You can get them on sale also. Okay. So, and this is the strongest you can get on the market. They're very effective. Go out and look at the YouTube videos about cops using mace. on violent, disobedient, crazy people, and how effective it is for law enforcement, rather than pulling out a lethal option, to take a non-lethal approach first. Okay. Now, obviously, situational awareness. Is the person coming at you with a gun? How much time do you have? All that stuff. That's why I would always have it at the ready. If I'm in a situation where there might be a potential threat, but also in the car, and I'm not telling you to do this, again, not advice, but you know how carjackings happen, right? This is something that can be readily available, quick, and boom, you blast somebody with this a couple of times, and they're pretty much not going to be able to drive your car if you've used it effectively. So they're going to try and flee the scene, aren't they? Okay, so that's another reason why I like non-lethal approach to self-defense, whether it's SHTF, WROL, or daily life. I don't know where you live, all that stuff. I know where I live, and I know my local laws. You need to figure that out for yourself, okay? But definitely I will be carrying the big can on me for SHTF, bug out, whatever, okay? And that's for me. Have you considered mace? That's what this video is about. Have you considered the different options with regards to mace? Okay, this one I would not want in a purse because it's easy to flip it off safe and go to active. Okay, and then it just takes pressure, and this is now firing, right? So this I would not put in a purse. A different size of this with the safety cap, yes. But if I'm in a potentially threatening situation, I am already going to have this out in my hand anyway. Okay? So, and it's not expensive if you have to drop it and run or whatever, right? So that's the way I look at these things. And easily replaceable, very low cost, but one heck of a deterrent. Again, please go out and watch the videos and know your local laws and all that stuff. But have you considered mace? The several options that are available to you today: low cost, non-lethal for the most part. If someone's allergic to something, possibly, they could be lethal, right? But generally non-lethal and severely disabling for about 15 minutes to a half an hour. Okay, so that gives ample time to get away from the threat, doesn't it? Okay, so call for help, whatever. All right, so I just wanted you to consider these things. There are many deployment options. They now have these handguns that shoot projectiles, balls of this stuff into people. I wouldn't recommend those, not because I'm against them per se, but anytime you pull a gun, you might get returned with a gun. And so if you're pulling out a non-lethal weapon and they're pulling out a lethal weapon, you might be putting yourself in a bad situation. So, but hey, do what you think is best. And also, I'm going to be traveling, so I need a non-lethal form of protection while I'm traveling, sleeping in strange places and possibly isolated places. And the gun laws there may not allow me to carry. I think I can carry in 34 states with concealed weapons permit, but then there's a lot of states that I can't. So the only option I will have for those states is non-lethal, okay? So I want you to consider all of these things. Do your best. Do what is best for you. Always seek out your own professional advice. And always, always, always know the laws around self-defense for your state, municipality, and your area, okay? But have you considered mace? Look it up, study, and see if it might be an option for you. And for many of you, it might be the best option in the current environment you live in. Hope you're all doing well. Hope life's treating you good. Jim out.